so let's talk about this and more. Democratic activist Lauren Leader is here, and GOP strategist Jen Kearns also joins me. Welcome to both of you. Lauren, I'm going to start with you. And President Trump's comments last night at that Mississippi rally pertaining to Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. Democrats say, and some Republicans say, the president mocked Blasey Ford, but other Republicans are saying he was simply pointing out the conflicts, the conflicting things that are in her story. Which was it in your mind?
You know, it's just so unbelievably inappropriate for the president to be fanning the flames of division that are already so deep in the country around this issue. And even people in his own party are deeply distressed that he has made this, that he chose to go after her, that he encouraged people in the audience, wound up laughing at her. I mean, this is just the latest sort of tragic episode in the alienation of women in this country. And I'll just tell you that I'm someone who believes in a strong two-party system. It gives me no pleasure to see the exodus of women away from the Republican Party. We've had some amazing women Republican leaders over the years who I may disagree with, but who I believe represent the country with, great integrity and, serve the nation in important ways. And what I worry for the Republican Party is that this president is winding up tainting the reputation of the party, and by pushing the Republicans in power in the Senate, to stick with this nominee, I fear that they are going to alienate women for a generation. The numbers were not on the Republican side to begin with in terms of women voters. Okay. This is just the latest nail in that coffin.
Got it. Jen, before I get to you, I would like to play what Kellyanne Conway said earlier this morning about President Trump's comments last night in Mississippi. She did not believe that the president was mocking Christine Blasey Ford.
She never
thinks. Okay. Well, let's hear what Kellyanne Conway had to say, and then we'll talk to Jen. Here it is.
She's been treated like a Fabergé egg by all of us, beginning with me and the president. He's pointing out factual inconsistencies. Do you have corroboration for her claims? Have you found, can you fill in her memory gaps or her factual inconsistencies? That is part of the evidence gathering process in any hunt for truth. And those who pretend that they're searching for truth are already voting against her.
All right. So Jen, is that the way you see it, that the president wasn't mocking Christine Blasey Ford? He was simply pointing out inconsistencies in her story?
I do agree with Kellyanne Conway, and when I first saw the report that the president had made these remarks, I immediately ran to, the TV and the computer and to look at the transcript to see what he said, expecting something, much worse than what he actually said. And I think he brought up some valid points that people across the country are asking themselves this week, which is, how come this woman doesn't remember even what year it was? How come she doesn't remember what day it was? Why doesn't she remember whose house it was? How did she get there? How did she get home from there? There are some legitimate questions here that a lot of Americans feel that she has not sufficiently answered, that would not have met even an arrest warrant in this case. So I think the president was right. I think his tone was also right. I didn't think he was mocking her at all. I think he was describing for the people just how many holes have yet in the case. And regarding women for the midterms.
That said, Susan Collins and Jeff Flake do not agree with you, do not agree with Kellyanne Conway, and their votes matter in this, right? So I'll pose this question to you, Lauren. Susan Collins came out and said that she didn't approve of the president's remarks. Jeff Flake found them sad. So ultimately, is this really helping the president in his quest to get this man confirmed?
I don't think he's been a help to Kavanaugh. I mean, if I was Kavanaugh, I'd be pretty unhappy at, frankly, the way the president has talked about this nomination for the last several days, not just in this instance, but in his description of Kavanaugh's drinking, which actually runs contrary to what Kavanaugh himself has claimed. It's not helping him. Look, I mean, the crazy thing about this, which I think, and look, I agree, there's a lot of questions on both sides, and I'm someone who's actually resisted, saying I believe, I don't believe. I think it's ceasing to be the issue. We've had qualified people people nominated for the Supreme Court and withdrawn over the years, many of them, both Republican and Democrat, over lesser things than this. I mean, I think of Zoe Baird, whose nomination was withdrawn because of nanny taxes. It's just insane that Republicans are dying on the sword over this. And I think they're going to pay a serious political price for this long term with women, because the fact is that there are millions of women who've experienced some sort of sexual assault. Whether or not they believe her, whether or not they believe her about him, this is deeply painful for millions of women, and they're asking why. Why is this administration so wedded to this guy when other nominees, including other Republican nominees, have never had this sort of issue?
I want to throw this. Okay, got it. I just want to throw this in because I've been thinking about this, Jen. I really have. And I think that SNL skit, right? That SNL skit that made fun of Brett Kavanaugh, a lot of people found that funny, and it horribly mocked him, right? So I think that, and the president tweeted about that. I think that perhaps that's one of the reasons why he chose to go there in Mississippi last night. You think I have something there?
It could be. It could be. And, you know, we know that when President Trump gets in front of a crowd, he tends to talk more at street level with them. This is more of a conversation he has with them, albeit TV cameras are there. But look, I don't think this is going to hurt Republicans with women. If you look at the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton only led with 7% of the women's vote, and she was a female candidate, which is pretty astonishing.
Right now. He is underwater.
No,
and as for this Kavanaugh nomination, most polls show that the majority of women do not want this man confirmed. 55%.
Well, college-educated versus non-college educated women. That's where the big divide is.
It's the same.
And, you know, we've got more women college-educated in this country than ever before.
This issue and the shenanigans from the Democrats. You know who has the worst polling number in this is a woman, not Christine Blasey Ford. It's Dianne Feinstein. 75% of Americans actually blame Dianne Feinstein for this.
As far as I know,
but
she's
that
not going to
does
sit on the
matter.
Supreme
People
Court.
are watching.
Yeah,
that does matter, though. People are watching. That's a Democrat female at the top of their party, and it does matter.
Well, we'll see in November, won't we?
All right, Lauren, yes, we will. Lauren Leader, Jen Kearns, thanks to both of you.